Hey there, toy collector friends and Transformers fans alike. So, welcome back to the channel, and I am the time-travelling toy collector, and this here is the Transformers Legacy Decepticon Stunticon leader, Motormaster. The latest Commander class offering for the Transformers Legacy range. And here he is in all his trucky glory. If, like me, you have the G1 Stunticons, then you immediately recognise the black and purple colour scheme. It's obviously a slightly different variation than he appeared originally, but the way he evokes that original Motormaster is quite uncanny. Of course, the original Motormaster was kind of a fixed model. The two components were a single thing. Here we do have a detachable cab section, which will become Motormaster, and the truck unit, what do we call it? The trailer section. Dear me, my excitement is overwhelming me. My language disappears. So yeah, so you've got the cab that becomes Motormaster, and the trailer section that will become, will become a few different things. It becomes a portable, a mobile battle station, complete with a freestanding weapon system. It also combines with Motormaster and the other Stunticons to form Menasor. Now, we're a couple of Stunticons adrift at the moment as we're recording this video. They're not yet released, so the fullness of Menasor can't yet be revealed. I know some people who've done some reviews of Motormaster have already transformed him into the Menasor skeleton and attached Wild Rider and Dragstrip, who, for those who've missed the other videos, we have Dragstrip and we have Wild Rider alongside Motormaster, but we still have a couple left to add to the collection. And on that note, I'll just do a quick swift, because I know some people definitely like to look at the box art, which we have here. I'm not going to go into too much detail on the box art because the main event is in front of us, but you will note on the box that they do draw our attention to the range of Stunticons that work alongside Motormaster, and we do know we'll be getting those very soon. But again, beautiful artwork of Motormaster there in his truck form. Interestingly, the side art that we get on that box, which I'm not going to sort of show you now because a lot of reviewers have studied the box art in great detail. So if you really want to see that, by all means go and have a look at that. I want to focus on the toy itself, to be honest. But a lot of the reviewers have picked up on the fact that it doesn't show Motormaster in his robot mode on the box. It just shows Menasor on the side rather than what you get here. So I've not transformed him yet. I've been waiting. This is the first chance I've had to do any transformations with Menasor. With Motormaster. Menasor is very much on my mind because the clock is ticking there. So I thought we'd just do he's quite hefty, so I thought I'd come in quite close on the shot really to start with, and then pan across. So we can see here the cab section's got some beautiful detailing. The windows, much like the original, are coloured purple. There's no translucency there, so he can't see in. The door detailings are really, really lovely. The panel work there, fantastic. We've got the Decepticon insignia there, fuel tanks or water tanks depending. A beautiful cab section that looks like it's popping open there, but a beautiful cab section, very nice. And similarly, we have a lot of detailing and texturing on the trailer section as well. Not quite as much, certainly not as much as we saw recently on Laser Optimus Prime from the Legacy range. But then Menasor didn't have, Motormaster didn't have that. Motormaster was very much the stock trailer that would transform along with the cab into Motormaster and then form the main torso element of Menasor when the time came for the full transformation and merging of that special team. So what is nice, and what I will be able to show you here, is that we do have some articulation in terms of the cab, and we can also drop down this stand, so we can pop the rear section there for now. I'll move that a bit closer for stability's sake. So that can be there. And we'll have a little look at the truck in its entirety. So much like Optimus can, the truck, and unlike the original Motormaster, we are in a position to separate this. In my version, it's a little bit loose around these wheels here. I know we're going to see that's part of the transformation, but that doesn't want to stay. Now, it might be just because of how I've taken it out of the box, and there might be something I've omitted to do, but it certainly doesn't seem to want to stay. But nevertheless, you get the idea. Here's the front, and again, beautifully done there. Lovely silver paintwork around the main grille and around the bumper. We can see those lights there. The windscreen wipers are there. The sunroof areas are there. It's beautifully done. The doors, the studded doors. Again, Decepticon insignia, steps up to the door. It cleans up really well here. I know that if you're familiar with the figure, you'll recognise what aspects may become other aspects, but in this current mode, you wouldn't necessarily know. Turning it over, there's no, from our point of view, looking straight down, there's no sort of visible head syndrome unless you go looking, shall we say. So I think it's a really lovely and really solid cab, and certainly something that could take on and challenge the might of our Optimus down the line somewhere. The trailer section is really solid, really robust, and it from a commander class point of view, it's reminiscent to me of Rodimus Prime from the War for Cybertron range, because you've got the detachable cab section that's clearly going to become a slightly smaller aspect of the transformation, and the trailer section is where you find a lot of the goodies. Quick point of fact, because again I'll try to transform this off camera as I tend to do for ease, but they've started, Hasbro have started with the legacy figures, packaging them in their vehicle mode, and I love this. I love the fact, because this is how, for those of us who collected back in the 80s, this is how they originally came in their boxes. They were the vehicle modes, because these are not to be cliche about it, but they are supposed to be robots in disguise. So part of the fun was transforming them into the robot mode in the first instance, and actually getting to see what that robot looked like in hand, rather than the robot be standing there staring out at you through a window, or now not even a window, because the surprise isn't really there. You just need to transform it into a car. So I'm really pleased to see them moving more and more into that approach that takes me right back. So this is Motormaster in cab form. This is Motormaster's trailer. I'm first of all going to tackle the trailer and turn him into Motormaster. Sorry, the cab into Motormaster. Then the trailer, and the trailer is also, by the way, it doesn't function as a trailer, so we don't have any doors to open, but we do pull it apart, and it contains all of the accessories, as well as becoming a little action base for Motormaster. So exciting. So first up, we'll leave the trailer there, and I'm going to have a look at Motormaster. And here he is, and I have to just say that was a really enjoyable transformation. Sometimes, as you know from other videos, some of the transformations can be quite, especially with a brand new figure that you've not had time to play with or explore or transform, can be quite stressful, because you think, I don't know what the tolerance is like, I don't know if it's going to give, I don't know this, I don't know that. So there's a lot of unknown and uncharted elements, which can be quite, if you've just spent a lot of money on a figure, quite terrifying, because you don't want to break it straight away. You don't want to break it at all, let's be honest. This was a lot of fun and very, very easy. So first of all, I'll just give you a quick pan up and down. Motormaster in his robot form. Beautifully detailed again. We'll come and zoom in on that head sculpt. That's a truly wonderful head sculpt, isn't it? I mean, the purple metallic paint, along with the rest of it, is really, I think, really lovely. I'm seeing that what looks like it's glue on there. I don't know if you can see that. There's a bit of something stuck on there, which looks like a bit of a glue seepage or something. I'm gonna see if I can give that a clean before I do any photographs with him, because that's a bit yucky. But this is just transformed fresh out of the box. Decepticon symbol on his shoulder. We like that. Yeah, so I'm really taken with that sparkly, shiny head sculpt. It does, of course, have all the usual manoeuvrability, and not much wibbly wobbly up and down because of the nature of his boxy old head, but far more than we got with G1. As you can see there, the shoulders give us, along with bicep and elbow, and let me just double check, yeah, and wrist articulation. There's, it's very well articulated, as you would hope for a commander class figure. So he's, quite the brute. The detailing on the arms, the paneling on the torso, really, I'm really taken with that head sculpt. I know others have sort of commented on it as well, but it is truly a really lovely head sculpt. It really is. Wow. Yeah, so the purple and black and that sort of off-white really pop. The legs are brilliant. For a few minutes to talk about the legs, you can see all that detailing there. Quite a bit of panel forming around the legs, but I can live with that because it was really good engineering. But this is really fun, and I know we've all seen it in other videos and on the pictures, but the original G1 Motormaster, his cab, rather than become the entirety of the figure, his cab became the legs and the feet. So what they've done here is create that sort of faux representation of the feet being the cab by having this fake cab complete with little wheels concealed around within the legs, and I think that's absolutely marvelous. I think it's absolutely fantastic. So let me swap him around a bit, and he's got a little bit of a backpack with his legitimate wheels there, but nothing we can't live with. It's not too, doesn't make him too top heavy or too weirdly shaped. Again, we have quite a lot of detailing. There's no gapping on the arms at all, which is lovely. A little bit of hollow space on the legs there, but otherwise those legs do wrap around quite well, and there is still some detailing there even on the back of the legs. So all in all, a really robust and exceptionally well put together figure. Some really good articulation in the legs, far more than we ever got with Generation 1 figures, as you are already undoubtedly aware. So I'll just pose him up a bit there. I'll pull out a bit so we can take in the full joy of Motormaster in his robot form. As I say, I'm a bit disappointed to note a couple of blemishes on the figure itself, which is a shame to see fresh out of the box. But they might be something that I can wipe clean. It might just be a little bit of glue bleed. I don't know where from, but yeah, I'm not super happy about it. But it is what it is at the moment. I'll see. That might be something that I can get off there. We'll see. Okay, right. So this is Motormaster in his robot form. What we shall now do is take a little look at the trailer section, as we have him over here. And the trailer section, as I've mentioned already, needs to be pulled apart. So it's a bit like a puzzle box, really. You pull it apart into various segments. So I strongly suspect this is, whereas I was anticipating the transformation of Motormaster from cab to robot to be my fear, it may yet become the various component parts of the trailer. I will feed back on how easy or otherwise it was in a few moments, so watch this space. And here it is in its sort of attack base mode with Motormaster manning the main primary cannon. Now, the transformation of the trailer section, you see it's quite large. It doesn't actually fit within the review area because it's really, really quite hefty. It's a little under decorated, I think I might say. And I might go a bit hands-free in a second to give you a bit more of a surround view of it. One of the accessories that it frees up is the mighty sword that he can use in both Menasor and Motormaster modes, but I'll keep those over here for now. Because here he is making the most of that gigantic weapon tower, which he can then grab hold of and manipulate. Yeah, it could possibly benefit from some decals that make it look a little bit more like some kind of operational command center. It does have a lot of detailing in there, which you can see with on the interior, and you can see on the tower there. There's some there. There's a bit of interior detailing. The different sections there do all. I mean, it does look really. I'm trying to do a service. It does look really good, really effective. I'm going to take Motormaster out for a second, if I may. Sorry, just so I can give you a bit more of a little tour, because I think aerial is the way to go. So there is quite a bit of detailing all the way through the platform. Now again, I'm very aware that it obviously is the transformation into Menasor waiting to happen here, but there's a few little nooks and crannies, and I really like it. I didn't initially. When I first saw it, I thought this is just a few bits of pointless plastic that they don't quite know what to do with, which was a bit like the sort of hidden base mode in the original as well. Now, the gun can rotate. I originally mistransformed it by accident because I thought I knew better than the instructions, but apparently I don't. It does suggest that you have that only so far up, but that very much obscures Motormaster's view. So if it's going to be some sort of targeting device, I think it needs to be like that. But again, it would benefit, I think, from some decals on there. And if this were the 80s, I know we'd have had them. The cannon, all of this are various different component aspects of Motormaster's trailer unit. And again, the engineering behind it's really good. I've pulled out here because what I want to show you is it does then afford some bays where you can put in the likes of Wild Rider, and also Dragstrip can sort of park in there. So there's some scope to interact with the other Stunticons. We've also got ramps on either side where these towers are. I suspect also with these other tabs that we can engage some weaponizers, should that be something that we wanted to do. So I think there is some nice potential for interconnectivity between the other Stunticons as an assault base that's preparing to launch an attack. You can fit those in around the base. So I think that works really well. I like that. And of course it does allow you to integrate, and he says probably knocking everything flying, Motormaster into the mix, as one would hope, just connecting back up for additional balance and support. But yeah, I think it's a really nifty piece. You can't see him at all if I do it that way around, but let's bring him back into focus there. So yeah, so we can have the Stunticons ready to race off into battle against the Autobots, and you've got Motormaster there overseeing everything and leading the main attack from that cannon. So I think it works really, really well. I really like the interconnectivity and the interplay with the other Stunticons, and of course as we add the others, they can probably join onto the ramps that we have at the side. In my honest opinion, there's a couple of bits with the transformation into the base mode, which is for me was a little bit fraught because some of the points were stiff, as you'd expect straight out of the box. So there was a little bit of anxiety when I was separating, so separation anxiety as I was taking the trailer apart. That said, it doesn't detract from the really clever engineering, because pretty much everything you see there is modular. So each section pulls apart and then has to be rejoined together. So arguably the base is kind of a parts former, but it's a parts former that I'm already in love with. So, you know, I fully support it. Motormaster himself, great figure. I did try and get that mark off his chest. It doesn't come off, so I think I'm going to be lumbered with that, but I'm not happy. I might see if I can get a colour match on the purple and see if I can sort that out somewhere down the line. But yeah, really, I think this is a great figure. Again, as I say, the other Stunticons can interact in base mode, and I think that's something very much to be celebrated. And it's far better than the G1 pseudo base mode that we got back in the 80s. Motormaster, a great figure. I'm not going to combine Menasor in this video. I am going to wait for the remaining 2 Stunticons to make their appearance before I do that, because I think he's gonna. I've seen some other reviewers who have, in their excitement, quite rightly put the Menasor configuration together and inserted Dragstrip and Wild Rider. For me, Menasor won't be Menasor, and indeed in the old days couldn't be Menasor until you had all the components. So I will be waiting for all of those components before I do anything else. So, does Motormaster have a place on your shelf? Does he warrant becoming the latest addition to your collection? Well, I've got to say, he isn't cheap, but much like Rodimus Prime, there's a lot of play value in the trailer, and also this is a fantastic figure. It really engages well with the rest of the special teams, Stunticons, as you've seen here. They can form part of that base. I really like that concept. As a figure himself, he's really good. Very articulate. I think the truck mode is very good. Him and Optimus are clearly going to have a standoff somewhere in the line in my toy photography, and I think as a character in and of his own right, he's a really excellent figure. So I'm very much looking forward to doing some photography work with him in all of his various guises, which I will of course insert some of at the end of this video, and also on my Instagram page, The Time Travelling Toy Collector. So if you found this useful to see whether or not this is a figure that you'd like, smash the like button. If you are smashing the like button, then do the channel a favour, hit the subscribe button and the notifications so that you never miss another video around Transformers figures, whether they're Legacy, whether they're G1, whether they're from that War for Cybertron range. I've got a few more of those to look at as well coming up. Maybe it's Star Wars or Star Trek or Doctor Who or G.I. Joe or something else entirely. Anything could crop up on this channel, and often does. So do stick around, and thank you very much for giving me the last 20 or so minutes of your time. You've been a fantastic audience. I have been the Time Travelling Toy Collector, and this has been the Transformers Legacy Edition Decepticon Stunticon Leader, Motormaster. It just remains for me to say, remember, a thing of beauty really is a toy forever. Take care, and 1, or is it 3, to roll out. Bye-bye for now.